Oh, there we go. Okay, and now we are live. Hello, everybody. It is 11:11, and if you're on the East Coast, it's 11 a.m. So yes, we did pick that ever so corny 11:11 at 11. Um, my name is Camille Leon. I am the founder and director of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. We are here today talking with Jeffrey E. Berger, Abundance in Optimum Wellness, about holiday health. Just, like we know, it gets wild at this time of year, a little bit crazy, sometimes chaotic. Um, and that shows up not just in the world of what we're eating, it shows up in the world of how we're feeling, our emotional health, our mental health. So let me tell you a little bit about Jeffrey and why we decided to do this topic and feature him. So, number one, he reversed his type 2 diabetes, came off 5 medications, lost 60 pounds. Oh my God, I can't even lose 20 pounds. And he took decades of stress, anxiety, and depression from a level 10 to today's stress and anxiety at level 1, and absolutely no depression for 3 years. Wow. 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 So today, right, he's living a life in abundance, in optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Wow. Which, yeah, which we believe really everyone can be doing. Jeffrey is also a published author. He is an active speaker and podcaster with a focus on mental fitness. So let's all give a warm welcome to Jeffrey E. Berger. Jeffrey, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
So first of all, thanks, Camille, for this opportunity to speak with you and be on this platform. It's always a humbling experience to be part of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, no matter what venue we're doing. But as far as anything to add to that, lots of, there are a number of things that are coming up that I'm really, really excited about. Being a contributing writer in an anthology book about being authentic, your authentic self. I am a contributing writer to a book that's being published this month. Wellness Wisdom is version 2, and I'm a chapter in that. And I'm going to be featured on 2 cover magazines in January of 2023. So I'm really excited about that. And, just lots of great speaking engagements coming up, podcasts. And I do have my own podcast series called Holistic Mental Fitness. And it's actually streamed to Mupo TV. So it is on the TV channels, Roku and Fire TV as well. So that's been an amazing experience and just shedding light on mental health from all aspects. And it's sharing testimonials from people who have struggled, who are thriving today, and just having an amazing new life, understanding what I call the microbiome, the significance this has, the microbiome, those that don't know, the gut, brain, heart, access, health, a science that's disrupting the health and wellness industry today, especially when it comes to mental health, because your gut talks to your brain. And science is really proving there's a significant correlation between the two.
Yeah, holistic health is a lot about the mind-body connection. Now, I say mind, body, spirit, business, budget, planet, but really, all of those other aspects come down very much to the mind-body connection. So let's just kick off the interview and recognize that it is 11/11, which is Veterans Day. So for those of you who are watching the recording, we're recording this on Veterans Day. I want to recognize that our veterans have really given a lot, and so many of them come home and are dealing with PTSD. They're dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. And then here we are in the holidays Jeffrey, let's talk about what is it about the holidays that gets people so down. Statistically speaking, this season of hope and happiness, the rates are pretty high in terms of
Yeah.
mental breakdowns, depression, suicides, all of that. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Camille. And I actually did a little research before today, and let me share some interesting facts because these numbers have really increased since the pandemic. And the American Psychological Association indicates about 38%, which I think is actually much higher. People's stress increases during the holidays and which leads to physical illness, depression, anxiety, and substance misuse, which is really,
Yeah.
really huge, especially with our, men and women in the armed forces. And the holidays do definitely affect people's emotions, and 40% of these people are living currently with mental illness found that the holidays made their symptoms somewhat worse. And there was a study about 755 respondents, reported that the holidays added them, the feelings of sad or disappointment. And then 68 of them felt financially stressed. And I think, again, 68% is a low number because more and more people are being financially stressed out, especially with the economy the way it is, so forth and so on. And then 66 felt lonely, and those are really just outstanding numbers of a high rate. And you talk about the different types of reasons: lack of time. I talked about financial pressure, over commercialization, too
Yeah.
much commercial spending money. It's all about money, 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 money. Giving that gift. 51% are stressed out because of the pressure of having to give gifts. Family gatherings. People are stressed out from family gatherings because there are different dynamic personalities within families.
Yeah, dealing with family, right, is the interesting, and actually dealing with family is one of those, it goes both ways, right?
Right.
You want to have family to spend the holidays with, and so often those family gatherings are just fraught with stress. Oh
Right.
my gosh, who can push my buttons like my family, right? Like, boop, 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 boop. I've got all these buttons, which I ignore the whole rest of the year. And then the holidays come up and wow, they all go off at once.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be sitting at home lonely, but on some level, I'm also not so sure that I want to go to those, especially for people who have larger families
Yeah.
or families that are really um, these days, right, on opposite ends of the political spectrum. Even if you've figured out ways to navigate around all of that, there's still that underlying stress.
Exactly.
So, all right. So that gets us to, with all of the emotional ups and downs side by side with our traditional holiday parties and foods and all of the ways those interact and play havoc with our health, our,
Hmm.
what we're eating, but also what we're thinking, our
Sure.
stress levels. What are your recommendations for taking care of ourselves in these different arenas?
Yeah, so that's really a great question because the holidays do bring some type of disruption for some people in regards to food and exercise, so forth and so on. But what I've learned over the last couple of years is that in order to live a long, healthy lifestyle, there are certain choices that have to be made, and you start really looking at your daily eating habits, taking one step at a time. What I've learned is that and this really just it was a rude awakening for me doing this research because the facts are is that there are over 10,000 food preservatives that are in our foods today. And I did research on 25 of them and then I stopped. Why did I stop? Because every single one of them, the side effects were stress, anxiety, depression, and gut integrity. These chemicals eat away at your gut. So, and this again, we talked about the gut brain axis, and the gut talks to the brain. And if these chemicals are eating away at the gut lining, it's causing a dysbiosis, a disruption in that communication. And this is, when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, this, it makes sense. And all these years when you talk about these foods that we've been eating and consuming, today we have over, and the other thing is, I researched on how many diseases are there today. There's over 10,000 diseases out there. And I think if I remember correctly, there's only 500 cures for those diseases. So when you look at foods, okay, you look at the trans fats that are out there, fast foods, fried foods, baked goods, cakes, cookies, so on and so on. Let me pull together some stats for you. So from a mental health impact, a new study shows that eating trans fats may be associated with memory loss. Okay, those who took the most trans fats had up to 48% increased risk of depression. And food coloring, which is in cereals and different punches and drinks and stuff like that, and Eggos. Studies have indicated synthetic food dyes affect the activity, learning, and memory, and causes changes in the neurotransmitters in the brain, and causes microscopic changes in the brain structure. We talk about neurotransmitters. 90% of our hormones and neurotransmitters are created in our gut, which communicate with the brain. So you're causing that disruption again, and it's miscommunicating up to the brain. We talk about sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate is, in the cured meats and the bacon and the sausage, so forth and so on. There was a study showing that over 1,000 people with and without psychiatric disorders have shown that nitrates, chemicals used to cure these meats, may contribute to mania and abnormal mood state. And then we go to that high fructose syrup, and which is in cereals and cookies and so many things like soda. Research has connected high fructose syrup to depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. And the thing is that these food companies know this. They know it's causing these side effects in regards to mental health. So understanding what you're putting into your body temple has been critical for me in understanding and allowing me to get where I am today. Am I at where I want to be? No, because I've been destroying my body for decades with all this stuff in the past. So it's a daily lifestyle change. But adding to that, I do this program called Living a GBX Lifestyle. GBX is gut brain axis, really understanding the significance of this communication. And I actually call the gut the mainframe of our body. It's the communication center to everything. So I've added what's called Sense. It's a program called Sense, supplementation. Bottom line is we don't get enough nutrients from the foods that we have today. So we have to supplement to get those nutrients in our bodies that we are lacking so much of. So S is for supplementation. Exercise, nutrition, stress management, and evaluation. So we look at our daily modes of operation, because it's not only about just eating, but we've got to exercise. And what kind of exercises are we doing? What kind of nutrition are we feeding our body? And then stress management. Again, stress management. Lots of different modalities: yoga, meditation, prayer, walking. Those are types of stress management. And then you evaluate. And what I do is I evaluate every couple of weeks. What's working? What's not working? What do I need to tweak? And so that has allowed me to move forward and getting off of all these meds. And, my stress and anxiety, rather than react, which is what most people do from talking with some of my coaching students, is they react. Today I evaluate. I'm stressed. I'm anxious. Why is this happening to me? What do I need to learn from this? What do I need to take away from it, and then share with others to be able to help them get through those types of moments?
Yeah. So I like that acronym, SENSE. And I also like one of the first things you said, like one step at a time. So I'll just tell you two of the very first things I did way back in the day when I was just getting started so I used to have a Coke every day habit. And that's, of course, the soda, not the other kind of Coke. Um, so
Very good.
I weaned myself off of it kind of slowly. So I would say, like, one fairly easy step is start to drink less soda and
Mhm.
more water. So, right. So initially it was like, instead of having my afternoon soda, I was still having my morning sodas, right? But, I would have a glass of water instead. And now, of course, I couldn't even tell you the last time I had a soda. But one step at a time is like, you cut back on your soda, you drink more water. And then also I started walking. At the time, I just did not have, I think the unofficial term is, I didn't have a pot to piss in. So it was like, I'm not going to join a gym. I'm not going to hire a trainer. What can I do that's easy
Sure.
and I can do it at any time of day without buying extra equipment? So I started walking, right? And during the holidays, when things are so busy and crazy anyways, like, walking is one of those, oh, I've got 5 minutes. Let me walk around the block. Oh, I have, 15 minutes. Let me walk a little further. So one step at a time, one day at a time, those things
Exactly.
have really shifted my, I'll use your terminology, right? My gut brain axis, the way they connect. And so, what are some easy, what are, like, your first couple of steps in that move to, I'm going to get healthier?
So the first thing is making a decision. You have to make a decision.
Well,
All right. And, what I like to share with people, is it easy? No, it's not. We have trained our bodies to be unhealthy for decades.
Mhm.
And when I started my journey, I wanted to quit almost every single day. But what was the catalyst for me was seeing my father in his casket, because I was on the same path that he was on, because he died of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, leg amputation, and 12 medications. So with that vision, it's like, okay, I got to push, I got to push, I got to push. And I think in the beginning I was pushing too hard. And that's why I said earlier, one step at a time, because did I fail during that journey? Absolutely. Do I fail today? Sometimes, but I learn from them, and you learn as you go. And when you do something wrong, your body will definitely communicate that with you, which is what I've learned over the last couple of years. Even celebrating with somebody's birthday party with a piece of cake. All right. Sometimes I don't, but when I do, it's like, oh God, that doesn't taste, my stomach is a little upset, so forth and so on. So you learn through that journey. So it's just taking one step at a time, and then focusing on one aspect. Don't look at the supplementation, the exercise and nutrition, and the stress management all in one day. Keep adding one thing at a time, and then increasing. The what I learned is you're changing your habits, and it takes 20, I'm going to say anywhere from 30 to 60 days to build a habit, if you do these small increments. And then it's like part of your daily life. It's part of your routine, instead of, oh, I got to do that again. So those are the two things that really helped me along the way, and being open just to getting some information outside of what is in the mainstream, because what is in the mainstream and what your doctors are telling you are not necessarily always true. Okay. Now, I I don't take away from Western medicine. um, it has its time and place. I am the first one to raise my hand. Give me the morphine when I'm passing a kidney stone, but I didn't need my metformin every single day for the rest of my life, when my doctor said you have to manage your diabetes with this chemical pharmaceutical. So being open to learning what's out there, because there are plants that do what these pharmaceuticals do, that do it even better with no side effects. So
Uh, yeah, when I think of holistic health and wellness, I actually think of integrative medicine,
yes,
right? It's not all one and none of the other. It's
exactly.
putting them together in a way that really works. I mean, Western medicine did come out of some needs for some things to be taken care of, because as the world evolves, health and wellness evolves. But that
Correct.
doesn't mean we throw out all the rest. It means that
Correct.
we find ways to bring them together. Now, you are a certified holistic mental, hold on, I want to make sure I get this correct. You are a certified holistic mental wellness coach. Wow. And you have a focus on gut health, which you've been talking about. So, what can you share with our listeners about what you've learned over the past couple of years of your journey?
Sure.
We've talked a little bit about where you started, and where are you now?
Yeah, great question. So, this, as I mentioned earlier, this has been a lifestyle change for me. And getting the results that I'm getting today and that I have for the last couple of years, I want to really share what I've learned with other people who are really basically sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're not happy with where they're at, but they don't know where. They're not getting the answers from whoever they're currently talking to, and they're looking for answers. And the idea is to start spreading the word about holistic options as as you say, integrative process to what they're already going through. And the bottom line is that I'm just amazed with the science and the information out there about plant-based protocols. And I'm talking about indigenous plants from all over the world. And I talk about this in my workshop. Plants were put here for a reason. And where we are with technology today, from a scientific perspective, we're able to study these plants and pull out either the full plant or extracts of the plant, because it is built off of different elements, and certain elements have amazing contributions to feeding our body temple and nourishing the neurotransmitters, the cells, the microbiota that are in our gut, the virome, which is, we have viruses in our body as well. It feeds these. And my belief is that this is where that true food is medicine comes in, because plants are food. And really opening up and understanding, or be willing to understand and learn about it, and then you make your own choice from the information that you get. What I learned, I mean, my integrative doctor kicked me out of her office after I came off of the 5 meds. So there are some out there that have their own agenda, which is fine. It didn't align with mine, so that's okay. But I didn't want to be involved with that. There are two sides of the coin here, and you need to look at your options, take control of what you're doing, because it's your body, your doctor, the person that you're working with, whether it's therapy, doctor, coach, whatever, is there to guide you along the way. But it's up to you to ask the right questions. Don't just believe everything. And that's what I did, is I started to do my own research and say, wait a minute, this is something that doesn't resonate with me. And you have that choice to say yay or nay. So yeah, there's a lot more to learn. I just can't believe what is out there. And I'm learning from other coaches. I'm learning from, well-known doctors and people in the field. And the more I can learn, the more I can share, because I am part of a mission to lead this global holistic mental wellness revolution, and be able to change the world from a mental wellness perspective, because mental wellness is a pandemic and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be opened up even more than it is today. I'm humbled to see where we are today, but we need a lot more talk about it, a lot more research, because mental health is the next $1 trillion industry. By Global Wellness Institute in Miami had their symposium. There's an aggressive look for companies, for programs, platforms that are non-pharmaceutical, that are safe and work. And we're already 4 years ahead of that game with what I'm doing specifically around the microbiome.
So that's great. And that really gets us right to the crux of it. Um, if there were one nugget that you could share with someone who is out there looking for that glimmer of hope, that, what's going to get me through this season, or if you're, watching the replay and it's no longer the holidays, right? What's that next step for improving my health and wellness? And while you're answering this question, if you could also share how people can connect with you, how they can contact you. We will be putting all the links in the threads after the recording, after the live stream. But what's that one nugget that, what do I do next? What do I do first to?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and the one nugget that I want to share with people, which is something that I didn't do in the beginning, is take skepticism out of your brain, um, because there's a lot of information that is out there, and there's and when I say a lot of information, there's a lot of good information and there's a lot of bad information. And I got caught up into listening to other people. Okay, that's what they said. That's what I believe. Well, that's not the case. You need to make your own decisions and looking and doing the research and doing your own due diligence. Be open, be receptive to getting different information, because there are an amazing number of different aspects out there, from holistic, from naturopathic to nutraceuticals and different types of mushrooms, so forth and so on. I could go on with the list of that. Be receptive to getting information, but also include that research of science-backed, clinically trialed protocols, because you will be amazed that once you get this information, and if you resonate with it, how it will change your life. Because this was a game changer for me, because I was only a couple of years away from when my father died, where I'm at today. And last January, I walked out of my new doctor's office telling me, "You are in the best health you've ever been in over 30 years, looking at your history. Whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, because it's working." So that is my nugget for those. As far as reaching out to me, I am on LinkedIn. I am on TikTok. Just look for Jeffrey E. Berger. I will be honest to say that I'm very, very little on Facebook and Instagram, because they keep locking me, putting me in jail, because I share holistic information and wisdom and all that kind of stuff. And I am being censored for sharing that type of information, and being locked out of my account from doing any posts, so forth and so on. LinkedIn, or you can go to jeffreyeberger.biz, which is my website. I'm in the process of updating it, and reach out. I do free consultations. Let's talk about holistic wellness if that is something you're interested in. And thank you, Camille, for letting me be on the call today. I'm really humbled. And we just have to spread that word of this amazing, community of people who are wanting to help other people out there in all aspects of health and wellness.
There really are a lot of possibilities and opportunities. And Jeffrey, we are so glad to have you as a member, and that you had time to just share this message with our audience. And thanks to modern technology as well, my frenemy, but right, we get to live stream coast to coast. I'm in California, you're in Florida. People get to watch from all over, and the replay is right there for people whenever and wherever they're ready. So with that, happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays to you, Jeffrey, and
Thank
we
you.
will see you all around.
Bye.
Bye for now.